Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Magnus and today we're going to upgrade Check Point MDS r80.30 to r80.40. So the first thing that we will check is that the CPUSE agent is up to date. So first we go into status in action and we also open the SK on Check Point's page and we see here the current version, and that's the latest as of now in June 2020. And this is the one that we have on the gateway, on the management server as well. Then we will download the upgrade and install file from Check Points via CPUs. This can either be done in WebGUI or in CLI, but it's easier to do it in WebGUI, and it's the recommended way from Check Point to do it in the CPUs. And we will do an upgrade, so we will not do an advanced upgrade or anything like that. So this is pretty simpler. When the file is downloaded, next step is to do a verify. And the verify will check that you don't have any conflicting hotfixes or that you have enough space, etc. This will give you an indication if everything will be okay. It takes a few minutes, and then you get the response if you can do an upgrade or if you need to do an installation or if you need to fix something before. So in this case, hopefully we will be able to do a normal upgrade. After a few minutes it will come up a pop-up screen saying if you're permitted or not, and we are permitted to do both a fresh install and an upgrade, and we will do an upgrade on this one. So next step is to go into the SmartConsole. So I have already installed all the SmartConsoles. So we can see here, and I select MDS. I have filtered a lot of IP addresses and so on, but I hope you can bear with me. So as you can see, this is an MDS, meaning it has multiple management servers. And what we will do next is first to check if we have global policies, and in this one we don't have any global policies, so we don't need to reassign the global policies. This is something that you should do if you're using global policy. And next step here for me is just to verify that everything looks good. This MDS is not in full production, it's more staged to take in new customers. And next step is to just check sessions, so see that we don't have any locks in the database. And here we can see that we have one lock. And then you need to pick if you want to take over or discard it. And I will discard this change because it's not necessary. This is of course something that you should check, but in our case we just discard it. I'm running all my MDSs in VMware, so I will just take snapshots of it, and I picked to not put the virtual memory, that takes ages. So just do before r80.40 upgrade, and we do a snapshot that takes 4 milliseconds, and then it's back to the CPUs, and more or less press upgrade. Don't press install. We have done that mistake. Upgrade goes a lot faster if you can do an upgrade. There could of course be reasons why you want to do a fresh install or a migration. For example, if you want to change names on CMAs or change IP addresses and so on, then you need to do and migrate, export and import and so on. So it's a bit more complicated, but it can be worth it in some cases if you want to fix certain things that you cannot edit during production, more or less, and name of a CMA is one of those things. I'm still surprised or shocked why Check Point haven't fixed this, but that's how it is. So what I'm trying to do here is to do a tail on the installer upgrade log to see some more information, but that is not present until a little bit later in the upgrade. So in most cases the box need to reboot the first time before you can see it. So just to see something more, I normally put up top so I can see that the box is working on something. And I will cut a few here so you can see the different stages of the installation. So you see like validating, install, etc. And this takes some time depending on how big your MDS was. We actually installed a few boxes yesterday, and for us it took about 1 hour per step, so it's a lot faster than the r80.10 to r80.30 upgrade. And you can see here in the blue that there is a new report, and this is really nice. So you can see upgrade in process. There will come a lot more information in this report, and I found it quite helpful. I like it that the Check Point actually improved the upgrade process every time and makes it easier. And when you have this, you can also see that we have the log file installer major r80.40. So you can see a detailed log on what is happening. So I always like to, well, have a bit more information, because it's quite boring to not see anything, and in the normal web GUI there is a very limited amount of information that you can actually see. So to get a bit more extra, that at least helped me. And well, I like my top just to see that the box is actually working, and that the upgrade process actually uses multi-core, and that's nice to see. This box, I believe it has 8 or 12 cores. I believe it's 12 cores and 64 gig RAM, so it's quite nice boxes that we're running our MDS on. Here is more or less a waiting game. So this upgrade process website, it gives some more feeling on how long it takes. One of the reasons why I always use top when I do this sort of stuff is also to see how long has the box been up since the last reboot, and then I can calculate like how long has the upgrade actually been in process. Because when you just sit and check on a screen, 5 minutes feels like 30 minutes, so it's not always that you wait enough time. And when you have this this log file up, you can see more processes, and that's great feeling to get additional. The report also states that each step takes a certain amount of time, and as you see here, it will the post upgrade process is complete, and it will be rebooting, and that takes a few minutes. And when you log in, you will be able to see that the upgrade is still in process. Here you see that the system is going down, and now it's back up. More or less I did fast forward quite a lot. In r80.40 it actually adds the host name on the login page. I think that's a quite neat feature. So it's the small subtle changes that gives some difference and some feeling. And here you can see that the upgrade is still running, and you can see it under status and actions. So you need to change here to all to be able to see the upgrade process. And if you click on this one, you can get up the report again, and here you see each CMA, the global objects, etc., when they were imported back into the system. So it more or less feels like it's doing an advanced upgrade where it do an export and then an import. And I think this is a great way to do it. It gives possibility for Check Point to do quite cool things. And as you notice here, it says in the CLI when you log in as well. So you see that the upgrade is still in process. And we will do a tail -f var/log/ installer major and the release. And here we can see that it's installing all the packages in Gaia that we need. and it takes a few minutes as well. And during that, let's see, 18 seconds for each CMA. Well, they are really tiny CMAs, like 50 to 100 rules. It would be fun to check this in a bigger box, but let's see. So it's doing what is it called? Fixing the certificates. I needed to block a lot of IP addresses here, and stopping the services, starting the services. So it takes a while to do this upgrade. Let's see how long it takes in the end. I believe you can expect like 2-3 hours for an upgrade in total per box. We did actually do some upgrades from r80.20 to 30 the other night, and we did do 4 boxes with 25 CMAs in each during 5 hours. So 2 hours prep and 3 hours real work. And you can see that here it's doing some imports, and I cut for each step so you can see each % bar that it's actually going. And as you see, the report doesn't give anything more. So I would still recommend you to have both top up and running, and this this install detail guide, so you don't go crazy, more or less. And it's using a few CPUs. Not all processes seems to be multi-cured. We will see when Check Point is fixing so everything can utilize all the performance on the box, because currently it's only using a few % here. So it's importing each CMA, and you can see 1 of 6 is done. So if you have 100 CMAs here, well, it takes longer time. After a while, you will see that all the CMAs are done, and then it will start the Check Point services. And here you see in top that it's starting a lot more processes, and that the migrate import is successful. And you also see that the installation upgrade was successful in the green bar there. To verify that everything seems to work correctly, we did do an MDS stat just to see that all the CMAs are up and running. And this is because we didn't see that the HTML report did change, but if we did close it and then reopen it, we can see that the upgrade was successful. And this is great to see. And you can see each step here, how long it took to import it. And you see each CMA here, it took 1 minute and 30 seconds or 2 minutes, so they are fairly small. And you can see the full time of the upgrade as well. So we already have installed the SmartConsole, so let's log in. So just the username and password, and we're using TACAX or Radius in this case actually to Cisco ICE, and this gives some confirmation that everything seems to work as well. If you don't use your super duper admin account that works all the time, this actually needs some integrations. So let's see here. And the next step is to do policy installation. No, not policy installation, database installation on all the CMAs. And of course, as it's a new SmartConsole, you will see all the new feature of r80.40. I'm most excited about the IPsec VPN change that we have been asking for many years. So let's see. So what we need to do here is actually to log into each and single CMA. And when you have logged in, you will need to do install database. And if you have 100 CMAs, well, this takes some time. We only have 6-7 of them, so it will not take so long. I will only show you one, and then I will fast forward for the rest, or skip it completely in the video. So just wait for it to open up completely here. And so you always get in this what's new, and then you do the menu and you select install database. And in this case we only have a CMA, we don't have a MLM. And what I notice here is also that you get the recommendation that this should be updated, and that's quite cool. I haven't seen that before. And what you will do after you have done all the installed database, you will run a script that is present in the upgrade guide, and this script will update all the versions for all the CMAs and MLMs as well. So just run this command, and if you do type yes and then bracket, pipe, so yes and then pipe and then the command that you want to run, then this will automatically select yes for all the questions, and that's quite nice. In this case nothing needs to be updated, so even if it says more or less failed here, it doesn't matter, because that means that all is updated and all is good. Next step after this is to go back into the CPUs, and what we want to do here is to install the hotfix that Check Point is recommending for us. r80.40 is brand new, and it did just go general availability on it, and it also did go recommended, so that's why we're upgrading, and we're starting with the smallest one. And as a precaution, I normally take a snapshot. I know that we have a snapshot from before, but I take an additional snapshot here just before the HFA. Maybe not needed, but if you do a large update and then something happens on the HFA that you're trying to install, it's quite nice to be able to go back to, so you don't waste all your work. Maybe you can go to a different HFA then. And what we will do here is to download it, and after it's downloaded we will of course do the verification again. And maybe it's not necessary, but always take it as a precaution, so it comes in your backbone more or less, so you always do the steps the same way all the time. This way then you don't miss anything when you do bigger upgrades for bigger CMAs or bigger MDS with critical customers or critical infrastructure. And the verification, as always, it takes a while, and this will just check that you have enough disk space and all of that. And here it will not say upgrade, it will say that install is possible, because the HFA is installed on top of the main release, so it's not really an upgrade. And we will select that it do an automatic reboot when it's done. I don't see the reason why you shouldn't do it, because you should have a maintenance window now, and one of the first thing that it does when it do the upgrade is of course to do MDS stop or a CP stop. CP stop if you're running a standalone gateway, or not an MDS one, and if you're running MDS it will be an MDS stop. There is no fancy upgrade guide, no fancy upgrade report when you're doing the jumbos, so it's more or less what you see in the CPUs. I normally don't bother to log in and check any specific logs for this. Normally it's quite pain-free. I would recommend you to keep to the recommended one, and only select the ongoing one if you really need that function, or you experience a bug that is actually fixed in the ongoing one. But the ongoing one can have new bugs. So in production environments where you need to be quite stable, go for recommended releases, and also go for the recommended hotfixes. This will save you quite a lot of headache. And here the box will reboot. Takes a few minutes. And of course then you're kicked out from everything. We just log back in to check that everything looks okay, if the upgrade is still ongoing or if it's actually finished here. And in this case it looks like it's finished, but let's go back to the CPUs just to verify this. So in CPUs we can see that it's installed successfully. So what you want to do now is check that everything looks okay, and that means go back to the SmartConsole. And don't be alarmed here, because the box did reboot, so you will need to log in again. And as I said before, we're using radius or attack hex here, so we do some verification already when we log into the box. And I would say that's the recommended way to have all your user accounts with radius or TACX, so it's always up to date, so it's no fixed passwords. And then you have more or less 1 or 2 super admin accounts where you can log in if shit hits the fan, so you can fix everything. And one thing that we check here is we did see the recommended update is present still here. It took a few minutes, and after a few minutes everything started to become green, and this recommended update version did go away when it figured out that, well, we are already on that. So you see here it's not applicable, and you see that some of the status did go away, but all of them did eventually came back. And same with the logs and everything. Just do your normal verifications. It can be to install database, try to install some policies, try to see that you get some log entries. And more or less that's it for today. I see you in the next one. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Take care.